Hey, brothers, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is a real joy. Honestly, as I've put up the couple videos there on YouTube recently, more than any of the comment guys were just saying, I just miss the getting together of men. I miss the tribe. I miss this brotherhood and the power that was in it for our souls and our lives. And it's my honor to be back here. And I'll tell you the whole story as we go through about what brought me back, what we're doing, and my thoughts on this. But the first thing I wanted to do is for maybe if there's somebody in this group who is unfamiliar with Dream Connections, or just some guys weren't here as long, or would just like to remember back, I want to go through and share with you guys some of the history of Dream Connections, what we really did to change an industry, and not just with the romance tours, what we did with our webinars and the Armory and all different kinds of things. So here's something that is kind of fun. All right, first of all, I got to give the story about how I created, why I created it. The actual person who kicked me off to do it was a guy named Rick Butts. I feature him in the story in my new book, Legacy. But Law Jackson was a guy I found on one of the forums, and he's an African American guy, and he was honestly asking, "Is it okay to go to Ukraine? Is it safe for us guys?" And of course, I'd been there, and I know that really black guys are superstars overseas. Because most of these countries, all they see is the what do you call it? You know, the videos. And they all think they're you guys are rap artists, you're popular stars. And so I was trying to tell them they were all good, right? And but there wasn't really a safe place for me to have that conversation. That's what bothered me. It's like I noticed over and over again, every week I'd be looking for who's the newbie. And because I felt bad for them. They kind of go into this place where it's like a guy might ask an honest question. Maybe he traveled overseas. Maybe he thought, "Hey, I met somebody. I wonder if that's really possible." And then he comes to this industry that was just evil and dark and chewed each other up and was full of scammers. And I just that was my first motivation. It's like, first of all, I want to create a safe environment for guys to pursue the question: is it possible to find somebody overseas? And then after that, as we went through the process, it's like, well, then okay, I worked with Rick to create the Quest Tour format. Can we create a way for a guy who hasn't been overseas before to be comfortable the first time they go? Can we make sure all the parties involved are there for long-term relationships? We don't have guys looking for hookups and hooker girls and those kind of things. And so we figured that out, how to create a natural environment for sincere to meet people to meet for the first time. And then really, as I got angry at the competition out there, I just wanted to prove that they're all frauds. I probably went a little overboard on that, but it's okay. So I want to show you, this is our first tour. I only had 3 clients. You can see all of them there, 1, 2, and 3. And we had 5 tables. And so there were 2 tables at a time that had no guy, and the guys would go around. But it was interesting because all 3 guys at this tour found somebody. They all 3 of them screwed it up, which is where I got some of my coaching material, but they all found somebody. And of course, the girl on the very far right here ends up being Justin Palma's wife when he came on the next tour. But that's a little bit of history and trivia. Then we brought her to Nikolaev. We brought it to a nightclub at first, believe it or not, and we tried to host our events. If you guys are familiar with our meet and greet events, this was our meet and greet event. No dinner involved, just some drinks and going table to table, meeting girls. And then this was your meet your translator dinner. Since we had so few guys, we had 5 guys on the first tour there, so we just kind of got in a cafe, and this was meet your translator dinner. Then we went to, you guys. I don't know if you ever remember these videos or saw this, but we would do the meet and greet events. Then we moved away from the nightclub. We went to this Egyptian themed restaurant. Type in the chat if you remember that, or say yes. I remember some of the videos in that if you weren't there personally. And honestly, it was a step up from a nightclub. So we made the shift to saying, more of a dinner environment is you get more respectable girls, because it wasn't like we're taking them to a nightclub, which is all the other companies did. We wanted to respect the women. If you respect the women, you get more respectable women coming out. And then we had these finale dinners. We went to this castle thing. And I don't know if you guys remember that, but we had a lot of fun there. It was really pretty cool. And they did a stage show. And then we finally upgraded The, meet your translator dinner event, the cultural thing, and this restaurant, we stayed the whole time after we finally got there. And finally, we got enough guys going, that we upgraded to this restaurant, and it was such a hit that we started packing it out. I think our top number of guys on a tour was 28. 28 men on a tour, and we would take 3 entire different restaurants within the same building over there, and it was honestly a joy. It was the whole thing was an experience, and for anybody who got to experience that, it was really, really a blessing, and, what's next here? Of course, then we added the finale dinner, we took to a whole 'nother level. It was just this really elegant dinner event, and instead of the castle, we went from the castle to this. I think it was a good move, and just again, if you appeal to women with class and dignity and elegance, you get classy, dignified, elegant women. And so we proved that. Now I want to answer a couple questions along the way. We had tried going to Colombia, and I had some guys who've been obsessed with Latinas, and they wanted to know, do you go to Colombia? We don't. We're not going to. We're not anymore. None of the ladies here were our database ladies, and it caused a problem. Everywhere else we went, whether it was Thailand or whether it was in Ukraine, they were our ladies. We knew them, we recruited them, we interviewed them, we called them regularly, we knew them by name. We didn't know these ladies. We partnered with somebody there who was an affiliate for a couple of the other big name ones. And again, so the girls really, if you know how those systems work, they aren't really active in the dating process. They don't actually write the letters to the guys. So when a guy comes into town, they're a little cynical. They figure the only thing they get out of him is some. So we tried to have to rescreen every one of them to get the gold diggers out, and it wasn't fun. Honestly, it was a lot of work and it wasn't fun. And so no, we're not going back to Colombia. We did by sheer will and effort, did create some marriages out of the, I think, 3 tours we did there. So I'm glad we tried, and we could have done it if we had the manpower and the will to start from scratch. But we were just enjoying Ukraine so much; it was growing 5 times a year, 4 times a year, and then Thailand twice a year. And we were like, "Those are fun, those are successful. We don't have to worry about who's in the room. It's not worth it." So we just kind of let that one go. Now, we did Thailand, which ended up just being a blast. Every single person who went there just had an amazing time. We got marriages out of it. We got exotic experiences because the whole thing is absolutely phenomenal. So I want to share just a little bit of that. You guys shared in that history with us so much. And every week we came out here in these webinars and we tied it into these experiences. And for those who hadn't seen what the events look like, we had such just magnificent events, magnificent videos. I wanted to just share a couple of highlights with you before I go into sort of the next part of this. So there it is. Yeah, so that was, a wedding, and I actually got to do the officiating, and the cool part about that, was that we also made it into a finale dinner, so everybody got to be part of a wedding, and, I know, I love it. Chris was there, everybody was there, and I gotta share one more thing, 'cause we just did some fun things. I mean, when you can be creative and just let it go out of love for the brothers, we did something really pretty cool. So I gotta share this with you if you haven't seen this one.
I was wondering where that was.
No, I got you covered, brother. We're good. It's awesome.
Влюбляются не в лица, не в фигуры, и дело, как ни странно, не в ногах. Влюбляются в тончайшие натуры и в трещинки на розовых губах. Влюбляются в шероховатость кожи, в изгибы плеч и легкий холод рук, в глаза, что на другие не похожи, и в пулеметно быстрый сердце стук. Влюбляются во взмах ресниц недлинных и родинки на худеньких плечах, созвездия веснушек чьих-то дивных и ямочки на бархатных щеках. Влюбляются не в лица, не в фигуры, они всего лишь маски, миражи. Влюбляются надолго лишь в натуры, влюбляются в мелодии души. Два замечательных человека, несмотря на тысячи километров, разделяющих их, встретили друг друга. Эта встреча стала началом незабываемых эмоций, глубоких чувств и неземной любви.
When I started this journey, I was not sure what I would find. I know what I wanted to discover. I was hoping to find someone that was smart, funny, caring, supportive, and beautiful both inside and out. My journey started in Seattle, Washington, in the United States. This was my first international flight, but I had to do it. I had this feeling that my second half was in Ukraine. So I boarded the plane and I was on my way. Again, not sure of what I would find ahead of me. When I got off the plane and was on the road to Nikolov from Odessa, I fell in love with what I was seeing. I know I had made a good decision. I met many wonderful people, but from the moment you walked in front of me at the restaurant, I knew I had to get to know you. I wanted to spend all of my time with you. I had no other thoughts about anything other than you. So, my beloved Savetta, are you ready for this? You're my sweetheart. You're my sweetheart. Hello. Thank you for letting me take your time. The film was wrong in one aspect. I thought that I was coming here for my other half, because I always thought my heart was broken into two, my half and your half. But my other half, my heart is broken actually into four parts, because I met Kostya and Nastya. And I love you with all of my heart. And I would like to know if you would do me the honor of letting me be part of your family and you guys become part of my family. And will you marry me? She said yes. Thank you. Nastia.
Man, that gets me teary-eyed just going back remembering it. That was all the idea of my staff. That was all the idea of my staff. He just said, "Can we do something special?" And they came up with it. So, um, I got to tell you, Dream Connections all the way through is beautiful and creative and dedicated to creating something beautiful and pure. There's nothing like it. There's no other company. There's nothing else that was out there to do, what we were doing. And I'm delighted with it. I'm going to tell you something now. And part of coming back, in this time we've been away, um, there's a part of me, and I don't know if you guys would have said this too, is like I really missed Dream Connection. I miss Ukraine. And there's a heaviness in my heart when I think about it, especially, the day-to-day life there was it was drama. I mean, everybody was, all new couples have drama. They have miscommunication. You're always dealing with drama. You're dealing with people in personal development growth who are insecure, and their insecurities come out everywhere. And between miscommunications and high expectations and people not just chilling and relaxing, it was drama all the time. And then not to mention coordinating such large events, and everybody had expectations. And some people were very kind about it, and some people weren't kind about it. And so it was really pleasant to step back and look at these things and go, you know what? Without all of that noise that we had to deal with on a daily basis, it was really beautiful. We did something really, truly beautiful. And the record shows it. To have more than 450 marriages, we had over 10,000 dates. I think it was something like we recorded 15,000 dates because we logged them all. We had records of all the dates, and we kept track of everybody on Facebook. And to realize that we've created generations and legacies out of this is beautiful. So a little teaching moment before I continue with the presentation. I had to shift my thinking because when I use the word, I want to encourage you to do the same thing. When you use the word miss, there is a pain into it that's you think that's healthy, but in a way, for me, it wasn't. Because what it was saying is like, my life is not complete today because this is missing. And instead, I learned to reframe instead of I really missed that because I've had several times in my life, I had beautiful places I lived. I had times in my life where we had family, we had neighbors that loved each other. One was living in Santa Cruz, another was living in Sacramento, then obviously that time living and being in Ukraine. And instead, I look back at it and say, I'm really grateful that that was part of my life. I'm grateful that I had those years. I'm grateful I had that experience because everything has a season and comes to an end, and then something new happens. And you can't go back and relive what it was. If we were to recreate the whole thing, it would be all new people, all new ladies. It would be new. I mean, I think Inga would still be there, but and Ksenia, but I think other than that, I think it would be the whole new thing. And we don't know what the landscape is like. And so trying to look at something like that was so pure and beautiful and just to say, I'm really grateful I was a part of that. I'm grateful that I had this. Now, there are some key things that I think we can restart in a fresh light with new energy and new ways that can have that same energy because it's the people that create it. I was just talking with a guy yesterday. He's a manager at a huge apartment complex, 425 units. And he said when he first came there 14 years ago, there was such an energy in the office and there was so much love for each other and love for the guests. We made it a pact to get to know everybody and their family stories, everybody we could as much as possible. And then corporate management changed. They're all about the dollar and they killed it. And he just almost teared up and just said, this isn't right. It is. And I helped him do the same shift. And I said, you know what you had was for a season and it was beautiful. And what you ought to say is, "I'm really grateful I got to experience that," because guess what? There will be other seasons where you get to experience it again in a new light, in new, fresh ways with new people. And next time, when you're in the middle of it, say, "This is it. This is cool. This is special." And don't take it for granted. And I know I never will. And so, having said that, I want to share something with you that as we went along, there was a little bit of a shift. There was something missing, and I think you guys could sense it about halfway in. The the problems I was facing was, um, as I got to work with men, I was finding that a lot of them weren't ready for this experience. I mean, they were dealing with confidence issues. They didn't know how to treat a woman. They didn't. They didn't have a sense of their own purpose. They didn't have a sense of direction. They weren't attentive to being the man of someone's dreams, and that would attract the woman to their dreams. So we made a shift, and so let me explain how this shift went. And you guys all know the stories, so but this is really cool stuff. All right, so here we go. We first shifted the webinars in changing up the topics, not just dating advice and cultural education on the different parts of the world. But we started doing talks on masculinity, the masculine journey, the science and fun of flirting, and uh, a man's purpose, all these different things, personal development things, including physical fitness. I would teach on all these things. And then we'd have more and more testimonials. Guys would come in, you get to hear from other people who are growing and developing, and then of course we had a trip report. So we expanded what the webinar topics were, not just hot chicks, which we joked as the from the marketing side here, hot chicks gets clicks. But there's a part where I'll explain in a second. Let's just go through this. I wanted to personally get involved in men's life to help them be built up. I wanted to work intentionally with them, not only in person as close as I could, but to give real tools to develop wisdom, confidence, power, um, purpose, to be on fire, to be physically fit, and to be influential. And I did a bunch of stuff to facilitate that. And if you remember, I had a poem that I wrote. It was in my book, and it basically was, without reading it verbatim here, the essence of it was taken from a Greek concept of the warrior. And it talked about the natural fixation we have with beautiful women. At the beginning, it describes, this guy who sees the pretty girl and he's like, "Oh my gosh," and then she looks at him and his heart glows and he flutters, and then she comes over and talks to him, and the sound of her voice, and it just, there's something in him inspires him. He wants to do something. But in the story of the poem, he takes that energy and he says, I got to do something to show her how cool I am, to show her what I can do, to show her what I can accomplish. And so he goes out and he takes on a quest that's worthy of this energy. And he kicks butt and he comes back as a champion. And then the woman, now coming back, seeing this man as a champion, wants to be the woman on the champion's arm. And then as they walk down the street, it's now reversed, where now she is the one who just is happy to be on the arm of a champion. And he's and the moral of the story, the purpose is he becomes the champion in the process of the quest and uses the energy of the woman to become that man. And so the whole purpose of all these other things I'm going to tell you about was to help reverse that sequence, because I interviewed hundreds of women, and the number one thing these women said they were looking for in men is a man who had a sense of ambition. He just knew where he was going. So let's get into this. I think this is this is juicy stuff. So let's see. It's this one here. Okay. Okay, so all that. So I did a number of things. First of all, I went and spent 2 years to become a certified coach under Dr. Robert Glover. I'm a No More Mr. Nice Guy certified coach. I still host one of his groups online on Sunday mornings. I get paid coaching people through his website that want to know more Mr. Nice Guy Coach. And nobody's had a problem paying me. I do $250 for a week, and we'll do homework assignments and one major session, and it's been incredibly successful. I enjoy it. I enjoy my relationship with Dr. Glover and his family. I had an apartment actually down there in Puerto Vallarta, near where he lives, for a while, and I would go back and spend time with them. I had Christmas with them and all these kind of things. But the purpose and the teaching behind the book, No More Mr. Nice Guy, and everything Dr. Glover does, is he recognizes the fact that there's an element to us, nice guys. Not everybody is a nice guy, but we suffer from there's an inauthenticity, and we lack a confidence because we don't like conflict. We want everyone to like us. We'll maneuver our opinion to make sure it's okay with people around us, and then we create these agreements we don't even know we're making. We're making other people out. We have this idea, like, if I do a solid, they better do one for me, but we don't say it. We don't have an agreement, and then we get angry and these things. So the teaching for getting out of the nice guy syndrome is to develop your own sense of purpose, really like yourself. In fact, I think I've got it on the next slide. If I don't, I have it at the end. But basically, the whole premise of developing you as a person out of this is to, one, be comfortable in your own skin, know where you're going, and having fun along the way. And that is the most attractive man on the planet. You see how the order goes? Once I help coach a guy to become comfortable in his own skin, to have a direction in his life he's going, and to be having fun along the way, he's a magnet for women. And so we get the guy instead who doesn't want to fix himself, who doesn't want to get confident, who doesn't want to develop his own agenda, be very comfortable in who he is without anybody else's approval, and have fun along the way. He just wants to go get the girl, thinking that once he gets the girl, she's going to make him happy with himself, and then he'll get a purpose, and then he'll be happy. And so we reverse that. And the No More Mr. Nice Guy teaching teaches this. He goes, the woman is the icing on the cake. But first, the man has to build a good cake of a life. And then we go into the ingredients. So what it takes, ingredients to build a good cake of a life. So I really like his teaching. I love his friendship. The other thing I wanted to do is personally help guys with their fitness, because I found it so incredible. If you guys remember how in 2015, I was a very obese man. If you saw the tour pictures from the 2014-13 tours, I wore this black shirt all the time because it was huge and I could wear it outside like a muumuu, like Homer Simpson. And I have changed, and that was, what was it, 2015, right? So that's 9 years, and I haven't gone back. So I really wanted to get involved in teaching guys this piece of it. So I actually developed an app. It would cost me about $5,000, I think, right now to get it updated so it works with the current phone system. So if somebody wants to sponsor that, let me know. Amazing app. Had every workout laid out with videos, how they go. And the guy in the photo there is not a model. That's actually my partner in this. He was my trainer. He was my personal trainer, and he coached on how we put the whole thing together. And then we did a 56-day, an 8-week program to have accountability and all the rest of that. So it was really cool. Now, then, if you guys remember this, I'm going to break out of this because we're going to have some fun. I got more videos to share with you. If you guys remember the Quest Mastermind, you guys in for that? Do you guys, anybody here remember the Quest Mastermind? I don't know if anybody here was a part of a Quest Mastermind. Okay, that's cool. All right. So here we go. Let's have some fun here. First of all, I got to share this video, dude. I did this promotional video, and I got a little dramatic, but it worked and I enjoyed it. So here we go. No doubt, life has hard times. 3 times in my life, I've had to come back from the depression, bankruptcy, realizing my body was borderline diabetic. How do you come back from places when you don't have the resources? You're dry. How do you break through when you feel like you have nothing to give? And yet, we've all been there. We're all men on a journey. But do you feel lost sometimes? Like, yeah, the guys who work AV and the video team at the office wanted to do something more creative than the normal stuff because they were doing the same thing for years. It was a meet and greet event, it was a dinner, and this kind of thing. And they go, "Let's make something cool." And so they did this video, and we got 37 guys to sign up for this 12-week commitment to go in, and every week I would do a teaching. Then there were small groups, and some of the and then once towards the end, we all got together in Vegas and really hammered down all the principles we were learning and so many things about getting guys on their purpose, getting them fired up, getting them loving their lives, learning to put themselves first, getting clarity, learning to be open up and add more men and brotherhood to their lives. So I have, and hopefully in the chat, tell me if you can hear this one. I want to share just some testimonials because I think some of you guys were in this video.
If you're feeling alone, if you have no idea what to do in life, and there's just like this brokenness, and this is the way where you get healed. This is the way where you find a path and you move forward and you reset. So make the investment emotionally, physically.
The concepts were brilliant. I learned so much, but by far the greatest experience is that I got to really bond with some amazing men and to feel that there's genuineness and authenticity between all of us and that we care for each other is the greatest gift.
Been through seminars in the past, and this was the one seminar that helped me internalize stuff the most. It helped me work on my heart. Just thank you for that.
It's amazing and life transforming. It really helped me tap into and find more of what's inside me that's always been there that I haven't been able to access on my own. You got to come and do this. It will transform your life and you will find out where you're supposed to be going.
So I got to tell you, that was so satisfying to me, and to be able to know that we're making this kind of difference. And by the way, I appreciate it. We did these two videos I put up, and we had 45 comments all on, the one where I announced that we're coming back, we're doing this. And there's some married guys who came back and said, "Thank you because of you." The other guys have said, "You changed my life." And so to me, the picture is always bigger than just helping you find a girl. Because if I can help you make you into the man that she's expecting, then, you're going to have a great life. Because that's one of the things you're going to find. The women, ladies overseas we introduce you to, they expect their man to lead. And you're going like, well, what does that mean? And it just means you have some direction. You lead out. You lead where you want the relationship to go. You lead how you want to feel in it. And to do that, you have to know it. And to know it, sometimes you got to get rid of the debris and the stuff that's holding you back. David Bayer always says, he goes, there's only two aspects to life: understanding the desires of your heart and getting rid of the things that you're letting get in the way. And basically he calls it eliminating the resistance to it coming to be. So let me share a couple of things here. We're just going to have some great time as brothers and open up the mic here. We'll finish this out. So we did that. We did the Armory, which was really it wasn't even a couple months old when the war hit, when we put it, but it was such a beautiful model. In the Armory, I had training videos, and we had small groups get together. We had a forum, and it was a path. It was a 1-year journey to cover every topic for manhood. And I recorded them in studio. It was powerful. And I was so proud of it. And it was such a great thing. And the leaders, honestly, the guys who had been leading the groups, individual small groups, they had told me that they've been actually talking to each other. Yeah, the Army group. That's so cool, Jim. That's fantastic. And they just said, you know what? It's been so life-changing because it gives a format for men to become battle-ready, purpose-driven, and have a group of other buddies around them. So I was really pleased with that format. And so I'm looking at what how to translate that. And then, of course, the culmination, I spent the last time since the war writing the book Legacy. And the I haven't even had a chance to do the Audible. I'm still going to do a hardback version, but I got it done through a New York publisher. So when I'm ready to really hit the gun, that book's going to go out. I have a chance to do some public speaking, and I'm really going to get the word out. I'm very excited about it. So that book is a culmination of everything I've taught. So then where does that bring us? What do we do with all of this? And so let me share with you a couple of my thoughts. First of all, I know the reason you guys initially come in the door is because the foreign ladies are beautiful. They're feminine, they're soft, they like to be women. It's hard to find that kind of women in the Western society. And the women here have all these expectations that put you in a place where you have to go along with their system. And they become the masculine, or you don't get them. It's like, then I don't care. Then I'll stay single. And so, but in your heart, you go, but I'm a traditional guy. And it's so funny. We have a word for it now. We're trad men, right? Traditional men. And we want to take care of a woman. We want her to take care of us. We want her to have her beauty be important. We want to make family and our relationship more important. I mean, these are all things that, back in the 50s, you wouldn't have to explain this, you know? But now it's just such a difficult thing. And the women have been trained to be masculine, to compete, and not to even value or appreciate men. So you go overseas, and one of the beauties of just travel alone is you come back changed, because the journey makes you realize how valuable you are, because you found a group of people around the world who value men, and you come back feeling like, wow, I'm valuable. And it's an amazing feeling, and it changes everything else you do in your life. So if nothing else, the effort to get to know these ladies, to go meet them, and all that work. So what can we do while let's answer the question about Ukraine while the war is going on. Thailand is open. And in fact, I've already got a taker for Thailand. I'm very excited. I'm already connecting with Noi. And that one Noi was excited because she loved our guys. We created the most meaningful experiences, she said, in all the 20 years now she's been helping in the dating industry, because she did it for one of the competitors and it was not as sincere. And they don't help their guys become real men. And she was like, I would be happy to come back and help you guys. So and again, these are ladies she recruited for us. She knows personally, and we've had amazing stories. Plus, Thailand is just Thailand, guys. It's freaking amazing. So with Thailand, you can go do a full individual tour with her, which is cool. We used to do these as individual Quest tours, and basically she'll arrange the dates mutually with you, but you don't get to talk to them or have any communication till you land, and then you're at a table across from them. And that's like we did in the tours. It's very successful. She also can do the virtual Quest tour, and we can do that with our Ukrainian ladies. And the way the virtual Quest tour works is we have ladies who know us, and thankfully, because we do the work to help you guys be the men you were born to be, to have a sense of destiny and purpose, have an understanding of who you are, what you want your wife to be like, what you want to be like, how you want the relationship to be, have a sense of growth, have learn to have fun in your life, and all these things we put you into. The ladies want to meet you. And so when I told Inga, who manages our Ukrainian operations for the virtual Quest tours, I said, "What do you think will happen when we get the word out that Dream Connection is back in business?" She goes, "Oh, I'm gonna get girls lining up." So she's getting the word out. We already did a video. If you guys saw it, did you guys see the video with the girls' profiles? The one she already offered. She said right off the bat, I called these, and all these said yes. So she's still working on more. But if you saw that video, you understand these are Dream Connections ladies. And it was so funny because she says, like, some of the ladies, in the last 2 years, we're dating somebody and it didn't work out and they're single again. But these were all of our relationships. We know these ladies. And so I'm really happy to say they're looking forward to meeting you. So the way it works is you set up an initial call with Inga if you're interested in Ukraine, or Noi if you want Thailand, and they will get to know you, what you're looking for, and start presenting profiles to you and say, hey, I think I've got this lady, this lady, this lady. And James, that's so cool, man. There's the testimony right there. He did it a year ago, took the leap, and he found his beautiful Elena. Wow. And James will have to interview you later if you're okay with that. Great for you to look at it. I didn't even ask for it in the middle of the war. And Kevin, you did the same. I can interview you guys. All right. I'm going to write this down. I love it. See, the thing to me that's interesting is people don't understand it's just the same success ratio we had with the tours, right? And so here's what happens is like you do these video dates and you can feel the energy. And plus, that's so great, Kevin. Thank you. Um, oh, that's right. We're gonna go. That's great. And so what you do is you feel the energy of a lady and you find mutual interest. So what you're gonna do is after you have an initial call and you say, yeah, I want to do this program, then you'll pay for it and you guys go. And she will start sending you profiles. You find 8 to 10. You go, yeah, I want to meet these ladies. And she'll start setting up the Zoom dates. And after each one, she'll chat about it, go to the next one. You'll find where the real connection energy is. And by the end, most people are like these guys where they're saying, I found mine. And then you arrange how to go meet her. And in this case, you may go all the way into Ukraine. You may meet somewhere just outside in Moldova. Uh, Bucharest, Poland, or whatever. But I tell you, I was over in Ukraine just earlier, a few months ago, and honestly, I could tell you how to do it. It's not a big deal, really. Flying to Moldova, it's a 4-hour bus ride to Odessa. You're there, and right now, it's surprising how much the rest of the country is trying to live like normal people. The restaurants I loved are open. Everything is good. I'll leave that up to you guys. But the point is, you want to find your wife. These guys are finding their wife. Okay, and it's half the cost of a tour. So for 2,500 bucks, you get a professional matchmaker who's put hundreds of marriages together with the exact kind of lady you're hoping to meet, and your chances are amazing. It's a deal. Full tour is over 5 grand. It's going to be over 5 grand. Price of everything's gone up, and the VQT program is still the same. But I have even more to share with you. Again, I want you to be the man who loves every part of his life. And adding the right woman is just icing on the cake. And yes, Ing is the best ever. And if you went to Thailand, you'd say no, he's the best ever. Okay, let's go. Here we go. Back to the show. And let's see. So why all of these programs I had? Why all of those programs? The masterminds, all this kind of stuff? Because, like I said, I want you to be an attractive man for this woman. An attractive man is comfortable in his own skin. He has a sense of where he's going and is having fun along the way. That's it. But to get there, we got to open our hearts. We got to figure out there's some junk in the way. We got to do some new habits, get rid of our nice guy issues. And it's worth it because here's the benefit. In the process, it's who you become. It's like that poem I shared with you. When I told you the poem of the guy who uses the energy, becomes the champion, she wants to be on that champion's arm. It's who you become in the process. It's who you become in the process. And the woman is just the icing on the cake. Thank you. All right. Onward. So I love this poem. I just got this. Ladane wrote it and sent it to me, and I took it. So a man must have his own quest. This is his writing. I love this. One of Brothers in the Tribe. A man without a quest may live and die, but he'll never know what it feels like to win or lose by his own terms. So a man who has no quest, he can live, he can do stuff, but it's not by his own terms. I like that. A man without a quest, maybe what society tells him he's supposed to be, but he'll never know if he is more or how much more he could have been more or should have been more, what was in him. A man without a quest may win in life and yet never know if he's winning for who he's winning for or winning at all. And that's true. You live a corporate life and you made salesman of the month, you know. Who's it for? Is it really what's in you? The purpose of the quest is never the lady fair. She's the reward for facing your quest and returning home. And when it comes to a quest, you may find what you're looking for or not, but you'll never be the same man that you left behind. And that's the whole point. The prize is who you become. The prize is who you become. So I'm going to bring it all together. I want to create a Legacy Mastermind Founders Group. We're going to do a 3-month commitment. We're going to do weekly coaching. We're going to treat it. We're going to do it just like we did with the Armory. There's going to be brotherhood small groups, and I'm going to include your VQT in it. I'm going to include your VQT in it. Not only are you going to come, and I'm going to give you everything I've got. We're going to have fellowship as brothers. You're going to have your small groups. What it is, and I'm not charging much more. So for $1,000 a month for 3 months, it's $3,000. You get a $2,500 VQT plus me personally pouring myself into you. And we're going to do this for the last 3 months of the year. So you hit the next year rocking and rolling. I just want to do 10 guys, and I will offer it this week and next week. And then we're going to get started. We're going to go into November, December, and then in January to kick it off together. And chances are we'll probably also want to get together in person because that's just the way these things go. And I'm really looking forward to it. I don't care how many guys sign up. It's whatever God has intended. What I need to know is I need to get your commitment, your $1,000, and we're done. We're on. We're going to put everything into this. So that's what I have for you tonight. And I'm looking for just a few guys who say I'm in, right?